Hi everyone, my name is Jade. Welcome to my media corner. So today I've got a video for you that's like kind of embarrassing because why is it the first video that I've posted in 6 months? I don't know. But here we are. I'm finally making another video. This video is just gonna be a video of me reading some short horror books. Because it's starting to get into spooky season. It's the middle of September now when I'm filming this. It's getting close to spooky month and I'm very excited. So I wanted to read some short horror for this video. I read Hide by Kirsten White, Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, and Other Misfortunes by Eric LaRocca. This was actually a reread of specifically Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. That was a reread, but the other stories in this collection were not. And then I read Tell Me I'm Worthless by Allison Rumfitt and Cirque Berserk by Jessica Guest. So Hide by Kirsten White is about 14 contestants in a hide and seek competition inside of an abandoned theme park. And our main character, Mac, had to survive in a hide and seek situation before. So she thinks that she'll be able to do this again because this time it's not for survival. Except yes, it is. So then we've got Cirque Berserk, Jessica Guess. This is a novella about the two girls named Sam and Rochelle, and they basically go to a carnival, an abandoned carnival called Cirque Berserk, which closed in the summer of 1989 because there was a massacre. 9 people were killed and no one ever found the killers. So the place shut down, but it never got taken down. So it's just there. So Sam, Rochelle, and their friends go to this abandoned carnival 30 years later. And the night that they have may change their fate. And then we've got Tell Me I'm Worthless by Allison Rumfitt. This is about Alice and Isla. Let's see, 3 years ago, 3 years prior to when this book takes place, Alice and Isla and their friend Hannah went to spend the night in a haunted house. And both Alice and Isla came out traumatized. Completely traumatized. And then 3 years later, the house is calling to them again. So they must go back. And then Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, and Other Misfortunes by Eric LaRocca is a novella and short story collection. The first one, it surrounds 2 women who get into a dangerous online BDSM relationship. The second one follows a couple that isolates themselves on an island after their son's unfortunate death, and then a mysterious man knocks on their door in the middle of a storm. And then the third one, I just realized I haven't told you the titles. The first one is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. The second one is The Enchantment. And then the third one, you'll find it's like that all over, is about a man who finds something buried in his backyard, goes to ask his neighbor about it, and gets trapped in a strange game. If you want to find out what I thought of all of these books, keep watching. Shit gets messy. This was a really fun video to make, and I'm very excited for you guys to see it. I've got a bunch more videos planned in the future, and I promise I'm going to catch up. I promise I'm going to stick to a schedule better this time. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoy. If you want to see my thoughts on those books, keep watching. Hi guys, I just decided to start a reading vlog. It's like 1 p.m. on a Sunday. It's my day off from work, and I'm like, why not read some horror? So I think the one that I'm going to start with, I've been wanting to read this for a while, like just because I see so many people. A couple of the books on this TBR are like so controversial. They just have either 5-star reviews or 1-star reviews, and there's hardly any in between. And I'm nervous actually because this one specifically, Hide by Kirsten White, one of my most trusted book reviewers, gave it like a 2-star review, although we do divert in taste every once in a while. So I'm like, I mean, I think I could like this. It's just the fact that it's a horror novel set inside of a theme park, and I fucking love theme parks. It's like my favorite. And I've always wanted to read a horror novel set in a theme park. I've read a couple, but the main one that I remember reading was Full Tilt. I actually read that this year by Neil Shusterman, author of Unwind, Scythe, all that shit. So I read that, and that one was more of like a weird fantasy book, and it kind of went off the rails. Haha, no pun intended. I wasn't like a super huge fan of that book. I think I gave it like 3.5 out of 5 because it did have some nice things to say. Like, it had some interesting messages, but it was like too short to deliver those messages. I don't know. I'm nervous about this one because it has like a 3.3 star average on Goodreads, which is like really bad for Goodreads. But there's so many situations where I've read a book and I've loved it, and the rating was like super low on Goodreads. I mean, a good example, String Follow by Simon Jacobs. That's one of my favorites I've read this year. It's probably in my top 15, top 10, but no, String Follow by Simon Jacobs has a below 3-star average. It has like a 2.9 out of 5, and I fucking love that book. So I mean, I don't really trust rating averages on Goodreads and everything like that. On Storygraph, like none of it. So I'm gonna try this out and see how I feel. I noticed that a lot of people have opinions about how many characters are in this, because there's 14 characters that we're following in this hide and seek competition inside the theme park, and it's like people say that that's too many characters to handle all in one, like all in a 230-ish 35-ish page book. Yeah, 236 pages, and people say that 14 characters is too much for how short this book is. But I don't know. I feel like if the characters are handled well, then I could actually be fine with that. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to start it right now. I just finished watching It's Bells' Scaring Myself with Horror Books, a 24-hour readathon. But yeah, so I'm going to start this and see how I feel. Also, I've been reading a lot with like ambience recently, and I found like a haunted abandoned theme park ambience, which is super fun. So, haha, just, yep, fun fact. Okay, I've only read 2 pages so far, and I'm already obsessed with the atmosphere. Like, overgrown theme park, like being reclaimed by nature. And there's something right, like, in the first 2 pages, it talks about a little girl who went missing, and it's like talking about one of her shoes that got left behind, but it's like somewhere very close to the center, the house that was always closed, where few ever even got, owing to the odd layout of the park. A shoe had caught on the low branches of a topiary. Unchecked, the verdant beast slowly grew higher and higher until the shoe was eye level. It was patent leather, dulled and cracked with weather and time, the perfect size for a 5-year-old foot. The vibes are here. Okay, so I finished the 3 like prologue thingies, or 4, or however many. I'm on page 45. I'm about to start the first day of the competition. I fully understand the criticism of how many characters there are. I get it now, because there's not just the 14 contestants. There's also like 2 or 3 people that are like the people who are running the competition. So there's 2 people running the competition that we've met so far. There's the cook guy, like the chef, and then there's the 14 contestants on top of that. I have barely been able to remember any of their names so far. And also the book feels a lot longer than it is. Like, I've read 44 pages and it's been an hour. And normally I can read a lot faster than that. Actually, probably been about an hour and a half, and I've only read 44 pages. So I think I understand the criticisms of this book so far. I don't know. I feel like it could get better. I feel like it could get worse. We'll have to see.
2 hours later.
I took a break for a little bit, and I finished day 1. Kind of don't really have any thoughts so far, other than the fact that there are too many characters, and I cannot memorize all of them. I mean, a few are no longer in the story anymore, so now it's down to 12, which is great. But just nothing really that major has happened so far. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it, but you know what? I'm just going to put a spoiler warning here. So, like, you can choose to watch this clip if you want, but once the word spoiler warning disappears, then you're good to unmute the video. But mute the video until that disappears if you don't want to be spoiled. So, basically, we got to see from like 3 or 4 characters' perspectives in day 1 at least. And during those perspectives, we get to see Mac found the like she found like the boardwalk games section, and she saw this thing where it was like you fish for the rubber ducks, and it kind of like gave her flashbacks to her little sister accidentally flushing a rubber duck when she was a kid, so it's like weird connection to her life. And then there's like the magic tent with the clown's face on it. The first character to discover the magic tent is a guy who's scared of clowns. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's like a couple of the characters have genuine connections in this place to their lives before they came here, which is interesting. It makes me feel like these characters were selected for a reason. Except a couple of them didn't see anything out of the ordinary, or like anything from their past lives. Isabella and Logan are the ones that have disappeared so far, and I don't even remember who they are. So that's great. And it seems like the book is self-aware about it, because Mac is having trouble remembering anyone's names, and in fact she actually calls one lady the toothpaste commercial. I'm just glad the cast of characters is going to like get smaller and smaller as the book goes, because right now I don't have the energy to figure out who all these characters are. I feel like I could finish this today if I wanted to, because it's so short, and I think I will, just because I kind of want it to be over with. Okay, so I'm on page 83, and I'm pretty sure I just figured out what this whole thing is, and I'm actually so convinced that I think I figured out what it is, that if this is what this is, I'm gonna be pissed off, first of all, that I was able to figure it out this early, but second of all, I will put a spoiler warning up here. So if you want to read this book and the spoiler warning is there, then mute until it disappears. But also, if it's not a spoiler, if it's not what it is, then cool. You can just keep listening to my theory. Atreus at some point mentioned it's a maze. But then it clicks. It's a maze, he'd said, and she assumed he was being a pretentious artist. But he was telling her about the park itself. Since they mentioned that it's a maze, and spoilers, there's something in the woods. There's something in there with them. I think this might be a labyrinth with a minotaur in it. Yeah. I'm willing to bet that they are in a labyrinth with a minotaur being sacrificed to the minotaur. What do we think?
2 hours later.
My suspicions have been confirmed. I'm so mad. Kirsten, why did you make it so obvious?
1 eternity later.
Day 5, page 183. Desperately waiting for it to end. Like, at this point, it actually could be a 1-star read. This will be my first 1-star read of the year. So this is great. I'm about halfway through, and I'm pissed off.
Eventually.
Oh my god. I still have 66 pages left of this, and it feels like an eternity. I really want to stop, but I also at the same time only 66 pages left. I could blow through that in the next hour. I might even just skim read the rest of it. Like I've been skim reading the past like 30 fucking pages.
While Patchy pulls himself together, let's see how SpongeBob's party is shaping up.
I finished it, and it ended exactly like I thought it was going to. It literally, I predicted the exact construction of the last page. What the fuck? I've never done that before. I'm so sorry to Kirsten White, but this is the most predictable, bland, boring horror novel I've ever read. 1 out of 5. 1 fucking star. This is my first 1 star of the year, and it's one of the worst horror novels I have ever touched in my entire life. Hey guys, I got a package, and it had 2 of my pre-orders in it that I was really excited to get. Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misfortunes by Eric LaRocca. This has 3 of his novellas in it. I read their novella, Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, last year in October. This is just the second time it's been in print. Now they released this, which has Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, The Enchantment, and you'll find it's like that all over. But I've read some of their other work too. I've read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, and I've read We Can Never Leave This Place, and You've Lost a Lot of Blood. My favorite is, it's a tie between Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and You've Lost a Lot of Blood. It's between those two, but I think they're both that good in their own ways. And then the other one I got is Fairy Tale by Stephen King. I'm gonna read this soon. I don't know when, because bitch, it's a monster. It's huge. It's 598 pages. So it might take me a minute to read this one, but I'd really like to get to it pretty soon. Because I just read The Institute and I loved it. And I haven't really read much of Stephen King's fantasy stuff. So very, very excited for both of those. I'm gonna be reading this for this video too. Okay, update. I have decided to start start the next books with Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. I'm gonna just read the first novella. I'm gonna reread Things Have Gotten Worse. And oh my god, I'm so fucking excited to read it again. It's so nasty.
Eventually.
Oh god. Yep, this is where it starts getting so finished my reread of Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. Just as disgusting and delicious and awful as I remembered it being. There was actually a lot I forgot about it too, and it fucked me up royally. Fucked me up major. So yeah, 5 out of 5 yet again. It's so funny. I was looking into Tell Me I'm Worthless to find if there was like an audiobook so I could see how long this would take me. It doesn't have an audiobook yet, but it's getting a professional publication from Tor Nightfire. It's getting its first ebook, it's getting its first audiobook, and it's getting its first professional publication. Or like traditional publication. I didn't realize that this was like independently published, because this cover is so sick. But I'll have to see what the cover looks like whenever they reveal it. I'll have to see what it looks like. I might buy the Tor Nightfire version too. It's just so cool seeing indie authors getting their chance in the professional publishing world, especially from a publishing house like Tor. Just always amazing to see an indie author doing so well with their own book sales that they get picked up by a professional publishing house. Like, that's so cool. But it's also cool because I bought this book before it was cool. Okay, so if you don't know, this book has 3 POVs. It has a POV from Alice, a POV from Isla, and a POV from the house itself. And the house perspective is really weird. It's written in a weird second and third person perspective. I'm just gonna call it second person perspective, where it's like you blah blah blah. But then it also talks about the house in third person. Oh my god, it's so weird. It's so good. My eyes are really tired, so I don't think I'm gonna read anymore right now. But I did get a fucking decent chunk taken out of this book already, and it's amazing. What the fuck? Oh my god. There was a whole fucking like 3-page thick 4. Starts right there where that flag is, and then it goes over to this page, to that page, and then ends on this page where that flag is. It's just a gigantic perverted fantasy. Like a gigantic perverted transphobic fantasy from some random guy on like 4chan or something. Yeah, no, there's just so much in here that is so accurate to the trans experience. Like, I've never read a more honest book about trans experience. I just wanted to say that. But it literally is just, that whole 4-page section was so fucked up and disgusting and depraved, and I feel bad. I feel awful. We just got done screening Barbarian. Oh my god. If you like horror movies, you have to see it. You fucking have to see it. It was so good. It's my favorite horror movie of the year. Probably in my top 5 of the year, honestly. It's so over the top and goofy. It's kind of like Malignant in that way, where it's like weird as fuck, but it's self-aware. But it also still scared me really bad a couple of times. And the cinematography is so good. Like, the camera work is just, there's some really good shots in there. Y'all gotta go see it. Okay, yeah, so final review of Pulse. 3 out of 5. Because the first half was really good. The first half was really fucking good. And then the second half was not good. I mean, watch it if you're interested in Japanese horror, but like, it kind of just spirals down into nonsense, and it was really, really weird. I'm on page 143. Start of part 2. Yeah, basically same thoughts as before. Except some things have developed. And shit's getting crazy. Okay, so it's like 1:45 in the morning, Saturday, September 10th. And I'm gonna read. I'm really tired, but I'm gonna read. And I'm gonna see how far I can get into this. Because like, this has definitely been a slow burn, but oh bitch, the plot is thickening. The plot is thickening like a good roux. It's gorge, and I just want to see how far I can get into it, because I don't really have that much left. Give me a sec. So I only have like 117 pages left. Hell, I feel like I could finish this. I think I could finish this. Let me see what I can do. I might finish this right now, because I don't have work tomorrow or the next day. I have the weekend off, so... And I'm gonna be spending the weekend watching movies with a couple people, but like, still. Like, I might show footage of me showing my friend Echo The Shining. We're gonna watch The Shining tomorrow, because it's their first time seeing it. They've never seen it before. And I show them movies. I show them horror movies, because their family did not let them watch horror movies until they turned 18. So I'm now like their horror movie plug. I'm like the horror movie dealer. We've watched so many. I love the repertoire I've built for them. So I might try to finish this tonight, so I have less obligation to read something over this weekend, because I'm going to be pretty busy this weekend. Okay, hi. So it's the next day, and I'm about to make my way to the end of Tell Me I'm Worthless, because my friend's coming over in about like an hour and a half, and I've got 60 pages left. I wanted to let you know I went to lunch with my sister, and it was a great time. We went grocery shopping, we went to lunch, and then we went to Barnes & Noble, which was a bad idea. But I only got one book. I restrained myself, and I bought Brother by Anya Alborn. I'm very excited to read this. I've been wanting to read an Anya Alborn for a long time, because Brandon Baker on TikTok keeps recommending her like endlessly. She's his favorite author, favorite horror author. And this one sounds fucking amazing. The Moros keep to themselves, and it's served them well so far. When girls go missing off the side of the highway, the cops don't knock on their door, which is a good thing, seeing as to what's buried in the Moros' backyard. But 19-year-old Michael Morrow isn't like the rest of his family. He doesn't take pleasure in the screams that echo through the trees. Michael pines for normalcy, and he's sure that someday he'll see the world beyond West Virginia. When he meets Alice, a pretty girl working at a record shop in the small nearby town of Dahlia, he's immediately smitten. For a moment, he nearly forgets about the monster he's become, but his brother Rebel is all too eager to remind Michael of his place. I've heard it's extremely violent and disturbing, and it's not too long, so I'm gonna read this very soon. I'm super excited to have this. Also, Gabby from Gabby Reads has talked about this book before. Just plenty of people have talked about this book in the horror community, so I'm like, yeah, it's time. This whole You chapter is literally fucking insane. Like, the way it's written is absolutely unreal. So that's a wrap on Tell Me I'm Worthless by Allison Rumfitt. What a fucking ending. So much just happened at the end there that, like, it's so fucked up, but also so cathartic at the same time, and so lovely and also awful. Truly don't know what to do with myself any longer. How do you feel?
Grape juice.
Hi again. So I got to bed really late and I woke up with a migraine, so I'm like, I'm laying on an ice pack right now because my whole neck hurts so bad. So I'm just gonna stay in and read Cirque Berserk because I read the first chapter last night and it's a great first chapter. It's so fun. Like, I'm gonna just say this one thing about the book. I'm not gonna say anything else about the plot, but the first chapter takes place in 1999 from a character named Daniel, who is murdering somebody at the Cirque Berserk. And at first, he's chasing a guy to Take On Me by Aha. And then he starts murdering him to I Want to Dance With Somebody by Whitney Houston. He's literally chopping off this guy's head while Whitney Houston is playing in the background. And he's like singing it. I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I needed. So I'm gonna read the whole thing today. I'm gonna do it. So I've got my reading ambience going, and it just does that every once in a while. You just get a fucking creature sniffing the microphone for like 5 seconds. I would say probably every 20 minutes. What the fuck? Okay, I have like 48 pages left in Cirque Berserk. I think it's gonna be a 4-star. It's really good. Like, it's not the most substance-filled thing in the world, because, like, I mean, look at this cover. It's, like, straight up a pulp novel. Like, this is a straight up pulp novel cover. It fucking says so thrilling you'll lose your head. Like, come on. Come on. Pulpy novels are just, like, the fucking best sometimes. And this is no different. This is a good book. This is a really good book. I'd be curious to read more from Jessica Guess and see what else she has in store. It's interesting. Done with Cirque Berserk. And as I thought, 4 stars. Really good, fun stuff. That was so different than what I was expecting it to be. But also kind of exactly what I was expecting it to be at the same time. I don't know. I just really liked it. That was a great time. Let me turn off the circus music. What the fuck? I really want to read other books from Jessica Guess. I really hope she writes more. because I looked on her Goodreads page and she has written some like short stories and stuff for collections, but I want to read another book from her. I feel like she's a good author and she knows how to write an interesting twist on a classic kind of story. Yeah, this was good. This was really fun. Okay, I'm all showered and like relaxed. I really need to re-dye my hair. It's been 8 months since I've gotten my hair dyed, and that is a mess. That is not okay. I need to get my hair done soon. But it's fine. Everything's fine. I should actually go brush my hair real quick. But yeah. So I'm like all sorts of relaxed and everything. And I'm like, I gotta kind of go to bed soon, because I go into work at 9 a.m. and my work schedule's wonk. But and I'm sad I don't have another book to read because I'm going to my mom's house tomorrow to pet sit while she goes to San Francisco. So I mean, like, I am gonna bring a book, but it's just not gonna be for this vlog. But I am about to finish Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Tales, and Other Misfortunes. Oopsie. God, my hair gets so tangled so easily, I kind of want to cut it all off. That's tempting. Nobody tell me to do that in the comments, because I will, and I don't think I want to cut off all of it. My hair looks insane. It's time to read. Time to finish Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misfortunes by Eric LaRocca. I was about to start reading, but I just wanted to like refresh myself on what exactly when I'm on the enchantment. Sorry, I couldn't remember what it was about or what the title was. So I wanted to figure out what it was actually about, and it says a couple isolate themselves on a remote island in attempt to recover from their teenage son's death when a mysterious young man knocks on their door during a storm. And that sounds really similar to Stephen King's miniseries Storm of the Century. Like, if you guys haven't watched that, you should get on it. That's a great thriller. I love it so much. And they just put the the uncut version on Hulu. I actually am gonna go add it to my list right now because I really want to watch that again. That's a great one. That's one of Stephen King's best stories ever. But it sounds really similar to the concept of that, and I'm actually really excited for The Enchantment now. Okay, I'm on chapter 5 of The Enchantment, and like the way this is constructed, like the way this story is set up, is literally like Storm of the Century meets The Shining. The husband, James, is going to be taking a job to live on this island for the winter and be paid for it, right? No cell service, big storm on the way. A strange man knocks on their door. Like, this is literally The Shining meets Storm of the Century, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where is this gonna go? Where is this gonna go? I hope it's not as predictable as it's seeming like it could be, but this is Eric LaRocca, and nothing they write is predictable, so I mean, I don't know, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but this is really similar to stories I've already read before and seen. Chapter 11. What the fuck? So, The Enchantment was fucking fantastic. It took me a second to get into it, but what the fuck? Yet another 5-star novella from Eric LaRocca. What the hell? Like, I think Eric LaRocca might be one of my favorite authors. Because I loved We Can Never Leave This Place. I loved You've Lost a Lot of Blood. I loved Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. And now I fucking adored The Enchantment. I just really want to read... I really want to get my hands on a copy of Starving Ghosts in Every Thread, but it's like literally impossible to find a copy of the paperback. There's another one. Well, the original paperback copy of Things Have Gotten Worse is impossible to find. It's like $140 on Amazon or something like that. Losing my mind. at how well this vlog is going ever since I finished Hyde. Like, every other thing past it has been so much better. I like really want to get the knots out of my hair right now. I love how this is like a section of the vlog where I'm just like brushing my hair. I'm crying. Anyways, the enchantment was fucking incredible. So yep, time to read You'll Find It's Like That All Over. A man confronts his neighbor when he discovers a strange object in his backyard, only to be drawn into an ever more dangerous game. Weird. Okay. And this one's not long. This one is actually really short. It's literally just a short story. So it's 25 pages. Let's get into it, I guess. Okay, so yeah, that last one was my least favorite. I would give it probably a 3. Because I kind of just didn't really understand the point. But then reading the afterword it helped a lot with what it actually meant and like what it was supposed to be. Definitely read the afterword if you get this book, because it explains a lot. And like, yeah, I don't know. It explains a lot. So yeah, I don't know. You'll Find It's Like That All Over was definitely kind of like, it had a lot of substance and it had a lot of stuff to say, but it just kind of like went over my head, I think, honestly. Like, I think it should have been longer than 20 to 30 pages. It should have been longer than that. Overall, I would give this like a 4.5 out of 5. And I'm gonna round it up to 5 on Goodreads. 100%. This was great. And this is the end. This is all the books. Oh my god. Okay, I was looking at my Goodreads reading goal. This is my 45th book of the year. I have a goal of 50. But that means that I just hit the best, like, this is the best reading year I've ever had in terms of numbers. This is the most I've ever read in a year, officially. So that's wild. This is a great number 45. And that is the end of this video. Oh my god, wow. Yeah, I'm gonna go put it back on my shelf. Right next to We Can Never Leave This Place and You've Lost a Lot of Blood. Look at this. Look at this happy little Eric LaRocca family right here. Aw, they're so cute. But anyway, so that's the end of the video. If I were to rank these from best to worst, I would say the best one I read was absolutely Tell Me I'm Worthless. And then Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misfortunes. And then I would put Cirque Berserk. And then obviously Hyde by Kirsten White at the bottom. Like, duh. I mean, I would say this went better than I expected it to, based on how it started. I hope you guys liked it. If you stayed this long, I'm impressed, because this video is probably really long again. Hopefully not as long as the other one, but look forward to my Losers Club readathon video. That'll be the next video I release. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for the Losers Club readathon video. I'm very, very excited about it. And also stay tuned for the end of October. And the beginning of November, I have something planned. And I'm very excited about it. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.